I knew he didn't want to do it because he was asking God to forgive. He says, oh God, forgive the staff, forgive me for what I'm about to do. He didn't even realize I was in the room. Ron passed away August 4th, 2021, and our 26th anniversary would have been on September 22nd. Ron was a very compassionate person. You know, we're around people that, you know, our church that were dying or had terminal illnesses. And in terms of his belief is that you pray, you ask God, and if God doesn't heal, you leave it in God's hands. God's in control ultimately. But always very compassionate towards those that had pain or suffering and wanting to reach out to them in whatever way he could apart from prayer. Before he entered the hospital, I remember his attitude was, he was staunchly against medical assistance in dying because it was against his belief system, against, you know, sin against himself and his body and against God. And he says, please, if I ever even consider it, please don't let me do it. I do not want to even consider, or even if I do consider it, I do not want to go through with medical assistance in dying. The day he moved in, it was like he was happy. He planned to go to the hospice and go home to be with the Lord as soon as possible. Everything was okay up until probably the last 2 weeks, and then as he became more unable to get out of bed, he actually said he felt like a burden. It was probably a day later or 2 days later that he in the presence of the nurse, announced to her, not me, I just happened to be present in the room, that his decision was to go forward with medical assistance in dying. I remember being shocked. It was as if somebody slapped me in the face. And then I said, what I did realize I gleaned from that moment was that he had had previous conversations with the nursing staff, obviously, that I wasn't party to. So I said, Ron, I said, do you trust me? And he said, yeah. And I said, then what I'm asking you to do is pray with me and to trust God and give back the control of your life, put it back into the Lord's hands. And so he agreed to do that, and we said a prayer. So everything changed. The next day, I received a phone call from the nurse to tell me that his condition had drastically deteriorated and that I should come. I was actually happy because I knew it was going to be over for him soon. And so I was able to communicate my love to him, and Ron, I'm so proud of you, and Ron, you did, you know, it's going to be over soon, and I love you, and kissing him. I mean, imagine like you have the pain, but yet there was joy. Like, I don't know how to explain it. And that level of intimacy with my husband, the level of love that I felt in the room, it was just, it touched something within my core that I would have been denied that moment. But I'm so humbled that God honored Ron and things progressed quicker. It was a testimony of God's faithfulness and of life, the value of life, that Ron's life had value apart from what he could do for people, all that performance thing, none of that mattered, and that's what touches my heart so much. I think that's the point here, is that God, ultimately, He's sovereign, and His definition of what a good death is means more in the equation. Even if our natural minds and our understandings are limited, a good death is the Lord's way. When I hear the words I am, I think of, in respect to my husband, that, you know, his life has worth and meaning. And everything about his life, from being in the womb to his death, has meaning. And there's meaning in everything you go through. God doesn't waste anything. I am worthy of the best care, the palliative care, whatever it is, right till my natural death, that I am important to God. So anybody that's considering it, I would say, please don't. Hang on and put your life, if you haven't put your life in God's hands, or put that loved one in God's hands and trust Him. And let go of the control and trust God.